Hello citizens and welcome back. In today's video, I want to take a look at factions, guilds, and how player organizations can align with them, and how might large organizations game the system. As always, if you like this video, sacrifice a like and a comment to the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more. Also, don't forget to check out my Star Citizen community apps and the Comm Relay podcast. And here's a shout out to our amazing patrons for their support of the channel and everything else I do. CAG is planning a very interesting faction and reputation system for the 1.0 release. Basically, there will be a lot of factions in the verse, and each of them will be covering some aspects of gameplay. And of course, some of the factions will have some gameplay overlap. The difference might be in the legality or location. And all of these factions will be grouped into several guilds. The guilds will have a specific range of gameplay they focus on. We saw examples of industrial guilds, sports guilds, and also mercenary and research guilds. Now, what's the point of all these guilds? Well, first of all, they add some lore and story to the game. They add structure to the characters you meet and the locations you visit. And they serve as a framework for the journey to getting a UEE citizenship. But they also serve as a hierarchy of mission givers who, as the name implies, give us missions. And these missions will give us reputation with their respective factions and guilds. And why do we want reputation? Well, because reputation is one of the character development paths in Star Citizen. It defines the direction in which your skills and playstyles are taking you, and presumably it can also unlock rewards like higher mission payouts or access to restricted items or areas. For example, if you reach a high enough reputation with the local mining collective, they will allow you to mine resources at their protected resource claims, or they will let you buy specialized high-tier equipment from them. But that's your individual reputation. We don't know how many factions you will be able to align with, but I don't think there will be a hard limit. The limiting factor will be how many activities are you able to complete for each faction in the amount of time you have to play the game, as I expect that your reputation will decay as it does now. I imagine that CAG is planning to introduce the players to pretty much every faction or at least every guild that will be available in the game at the 1.0 release as a part of the story, which will eventually lead you to citizenship in the UEE. But that's not where reputation stops. There is one more aspect that players were anticipating for a while, but only now CAG gave us an insight on how it might work. We knew that player organizations will be able to align with different factions as well. And now we also know what that's going to look like. And I'm sure that the org leaders in the community and in the audience immediately saw some challenges this new system might present them with. But don't worry, I will give you a rundown in a moment. First, let's explain how this new system is going to work. Every player organization can align themselves with one of the guilds in the game. Now, my guess is that as members of the organization complete missions or activities for that guild, the organization will gain reputation with that guild as well. We don't know the specifics of this yet, but I'm guessing that when a member completes a mission for a guild, they gain a reputation with the issuing faction, and a fraction of the reputation is given to the organization that the player belongs to. The interesting part here is that the organization can gain some perks from the guild they are aligned with. We don't exactly know what this is going to be, but I expect this will be along the lines of members having access to special missions, areas, or equipment. The implication being that the better the reputation, the better the perks. I am very much looking forward to seeing what the perks are and how difficult it will be to gain them. Now, this is actually a very good system. It encourages players and organizations to specialize to gain rewards rather than trying to play all sides. But at the same time, it doesn't stop them from playing all sides. But for some organizations, having to choose a single guild to align with poses a major challenge. For small organizations, this won't be a problem, because usually they only have one area of focus. I'm talking about organizations under 500 members. Or generally any organization that only focuses on one thing, so dedicated mercenary or mining organizations or similar outfits. For bigger organizations and organizations that focus on multiple gameplay loops, this is a problem. Let's take a look at a hypothetical organization that has several thousand members and has multiple divisions. The divisions focus on industrial gameplay, exploration, and mercenary gameplay. So, how does the leadership of this organization choose a guild to align with? There is a good chance that there will be a guild covering 2 of the 3 gameplay loops, but there probably won't be one that covers all 3. So the leadership are now faced with a difficult choice. They could pick a guild that suits one of their divisions completely and leave the other 2 without a meaningful perk to have, which could alienate the members of the other 2 divisions and make them leave. This is obviously not a very good option. So what else is there? Well, CIG could change their minds and allow large organizations to align with multiple guilds or take perks from multiple guilds based on size and reputation. This would actually make more sense from a management perspective, and it would make things much easier for organization leaders. And I imagine even smaller organizations might benefit from this. The other option is much more complicated and much less elegant. The leaders of our hypothetical organization could split the in-game organizations into multiple organizations by their gameplay loop. They would end up with 3 organizations that can each align with the guild that gives them relevant perks. But at the same time, they would act as one entity in the game and outside, meaning they would have one website, one Discord server or similar, and have common goals and work together in the game. At the same time, the players are able to become members of all the divisional organizations and set themselves as representing the one they are a member of. And they are also able to switch which organization they are representing whenever they want, at the cost of the loss of some progress and reputation. This is very important, because while you are able to be a member of multiple organizations, you can only represent one of them, which grants you access to their reputation perks. Now, this might be an edge case, and only applicable to the largest organizations in Star Citizen, but it creates a significant administrative and command and control challenge. Of course, all of this is possibly years away. Org features have been on a back burner for CIG while other features are prioritized. So I expect that CIG will change their goals with the organization tools in the future as they get closer to the implementation. Ultimately, I think that CIG will allow organizations to select multiple perks from multiple guilds based on their size or activity, or maybe achieving some other conditions, maybe as a reward for completing dynamic events and community goals. And with that being said, that's all for tonight. What do you think? Should organizations be able to align with multiple guilds? How could large organizations solve this problem? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, fly safe, and I will see you in the verse.